Here we are with Spike Strike Prospecting's Gold Ram.
So get ready for another Wandering Buffalo's product review.
Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos, announcements, and giveaways.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at Spike Strike Prospecting's Gold Ram Sluice.
You could get this for $35. It's already put together and it's pretty lightweight.
So we'll take a quick look at the features of the Gold Ram and all the areas that it catches material. The Gold Ram's pretty cool. You can use it as a stream sluice,
and you can also use it as a gold pan.
and we're going to show you how both ways and how well it catches gold. Here is Spike Strike Prospecting's Gold Ram Sluice Pan. As you can see, it's one solid piece of a heavy-duty plastic composite material mold. It is very lightweight, pretty durable, so it's easy to grab and go and just immediately drop in and start working your material. As you can see, on both ends, there's openings to allow water to flow through. You can use this as a sluice in the stream or as a pan itself and allow water to flow through and process your material. There are a total of 7 different areas to where gold is broken down and heavy material is separated. At the top here, you have these initial large grooves that pop up, similar to vortex matting. Your next section is 2 narrow drop riffles. Third, you have the Gold Ram here. These are a little bit more deeper than the initial 2 drop riffles. And then you have one really deep area to collect that gold and heavy material in the middle. Moving on to the middle of the pan, you have the gold trap areas. These are about 1/4 inch in size, circle, hexagon shaped. So as the material flows over, the gold gets moved around and drops down in each of those little holes. Then you have a pretty wide drop riffle move after that. Then about an 1/8 inch size gold trap for your finer gold to be collected. And at the end of it is a shallower drop riffle with the large, about a 1/4 inch rise up to get to the final 2 sections. Here you have a series of 6 different drop riffles moving across for your material to keep separated and collect more of the heavies that have made it through. At the very end, you'll notice a really deep and wide area to collect the final bit of material before the rest is discharged out of the stream sluice. This here can definitely catch larger gold that works down, or just make sure any fine gold that didn't get trapped in the other stages is stopped and collected here. Turning it on the side, you can definitely see the difference in the depth and indentations of each of the different stages to trap your gold in material. Pay particular attention to the very end here. This drop riffle here is definitely the last ditch area to collect that material before it's discharged. But you can definitely just tell the difference in depth and areas of each of the different stages that will collect your gold and heavy material. 2 primary ways to use this, as we stated before. First, of course, is the stream sluice to allow water to flow from entering this side and process down the rest of the sluice pan. The second is to use it as a pan where you dump your material in the middle, agitate it, and then work the material back and forth and allow the water flow to start cleaning out and processing your material. The pan is designed to be used in water flow. However, we're also going to take a look at a third way and see how well it performs trying to mimic water flow in still water, and see if it will work in case you're in those areas where you show up to prospect and water levels are low and there's just not much of a stream flow to use. So let's take this pan out and see how well it does. Okay, so we have our material. Got the spike straight Gold Ram sluice set up. We have our catch tub out there. Had to use some rocks, obviously, to weigh it down at the top and also wedge it in because this is light material and it can float away pretty easy. So let's do a test real quick, a small scoop, and let's see how this runs. So I need to make a little adjustment. All the material ran to the one side, so we obviously want it to be even. Alright, so we're in a fast moving area, so we used some rocks on the back side here piled up to kind of slow down the water flow some. There was just way too much and it wasn't giving a chance for the material to kind of settle down into the sluice. But as we can see now, it is starting to catch the material. We'll get some close-ups so you can see. So let's start running this. So you can see it really working through in all these traps here. The material's a lot slower to clear out, but it's working. You really start to see some black sands filling up these trays, so that's really good. Alright, so a lot of the lower trays are starting to get full. Let's take a look and see what we have. Alright, so material's looking good here. It's really full of a lot of black sand. We'll take a closer look before I dump this. Alright, you can see the material. All this black sand, heavy, even some pieces of gold right there. One little speck here. But you can see how it really trapped material down in here and even all the way up in these riffles. So the water flow is coming in pretty fast here, but it gave a chance to break it apart and settle down as the water flowed through, and definitely trapped in a lot of material. So let's empty this out and take a look. All clean. Really did a good job at that black sand. I mean, it captured that really fine gold. No kidding.
not the digging. Those are nice.
Put this all together. So there is the gold. I mean, it's trapped all that really ultra fine gold. So I'd say it's definitely catching. But the question is, did we lose any? So we'll pan out our tub now and take a look. Alright, so let's get our tub of material and take a look. So that's all of the stuff that came out of the sluice box. Pretty heavy. Okay, so we're going to run all the tailings from the Gold Ram through the cleanup sluice here. What we have 1100 gallon per hour pump hooked up to a lawnmower battery, and it's running the Gold Hog washer mat, which you've seen in our videos. Works really well, very little loss if any, but we're just going to run this material through and see what we have. See if we see anything in the matting. Not really seeing anything, but gold could be hidden in all the black sand there. So let me get this cleaned up. The pan on the left here was our initial run through the Gold Ram. The pan on the right, this was from the tailings from the Gold Ram that we ran through our cleanup sluice. Here's the gold that we got from digging and running through the Gold Ram. Here's the gold that we lost in our tailings. 3 specks that we lost, and that's what we captured. So you can tell, I mean, this still even captured a lot of really fine pieces. So there was a loss, but minimal. So we'll let you make up your own conclusion. But the product definitely worked as advertised as a sluice. And for $35, that is a great value. And you don't have to tear it down or anything. It's lightweight, extremely portable, and it catches gold. So we had great results using it as a stream sluice. But now we're going to use it as a pan. Well, we had great results using it as a stream sluice. It caught the gold and had very little loss, so you can't beat those results. Now, leveraging the 2 open sides, we're going to use it as a pan that Spike said you're able to process material if you do not have flowing water. Similar concept as the flow pan, but let's take a look and see how well it can catch the gold.
It's a hot day. You just float it.
So what Kathleen's doing right now is agitating the material, obviously trying to get all that heavy stuff to settle down in the grooves. So when she's ready and feels good results, we can start peeling back like a pan and having the material come out. Okay. The end on her left hand is the end that comes up out of water. The end of the sluice is in her right hand. So go ahead when you're ready and start kind of working that material down. Yep.
It's the first time I'm using it. Okay. You're better at it than I
So there's the material we're left with.
Okay, so this is what we're left with, and now what we're going to do is take this to a pan and pan it out and see how we did, and then we're going to take the tailings and run it through the cleanup sluice.
Wow, that caught a lot more than I thought it did. It's a nice hot day, so you don't mind.
All right, it's all clean. Let's take a look at our pan. Oh, there's some gold.
Yeah.
So as you can see, some of the gold here has mercury on it, but it definitely caught it. So let's take a look at the tailings and see if we missed any. All right, let's take a quick look here, see if we see any gold, and then we'll pan this out.
Not too many big pieces.
I think that's one. We'll find out.
The same one. Two.
Uh-oh. Full spin.
Keep losing the one that floats.
3.
3 pieces.
Yep, make that, I think, 4. That's a really tiny one. We got some pyrite. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, small. So it still did its job, and takes some practice with the using it as a pan, but it does work and it did capture gold, so not too bad. So there are results from using the Gold Ram as a pan. This pan on the left was our tailings, and of course we used the gold trap for our initial cleanup of the Gold Ram, the material that was in the pan. So as you can see, we did get some gold there. Has some mercury on this one. Not as much as our first run with the stream sluice, but we still found gold nonetheless. Here's our losses. 2 peppers and then 2 really fine pieces of gold. So not bad at all. It had a little bit of a loss. That could have been from user error, just trying to get used to the mechanics of using it. It's a lot longer of a pan than, say, the flow pan is when you're working it in that way, but it does work. So you can utilize this in standing water if you needed to pan down a material. It will catch the gold, and it still has some loss, but still not a bad product for $35. Here we are. We're We're going to use the Gold Ram now, similar to a flow pan. We're going to put some material in the center here, and then we're going to just run it and let the water do the work and see how well it traps the gold. So let's get started. So we'll put our material in. First we need to agitate it. So just let some water in and work the material back and forth and side to side. Alright, once we have that material that worked down, we're going to just let the water flow, push this material through all the stages. Now one thing I'm noticing is about halfway you have to kind of help it along. Just a little bit, let water do its job, the flow, but give it some movement to increase water flow in the sluice. Good little trick, especially if you don't have a really super strong water flow, but it's the same concept. Just don't jerk it hard, smooth movements. Now that we ran the material, let's take a better look at a good angle to see what's inside the Gold Ram and all the drop riffles and traps that we see. At the end is the big, deep riffle. Most of the buildup there, heavies, it trapped this lip on the edge, kept any more heavies from going out over. So very little light material. These are all filled, and look at that. That's a piece of gold. So that's a pretty big flake. It probably bounced down, but it got trapped in there before it got too far along and floated out. All the little round gold traps. I don't see anything in there this run, but it has some material black sands. There could be something hidden in there. That may be a piece, I can't really tell. Looks like a rock. But there's definitely good material here. And then in the Gold Ram, that big deep pocket, look at all those heavies. A lot of iron and other material there. Now up here, it's pretty clean in the top. But that's okay, because there's a lot of water flow entering in there, so it's pushing a lot of material out. But it gave it time to hit these first couple stages to start breaking down. So it caught some gold we can see with the naked eye. Let's get it in a pan and see how we did, and then check all our tailings and see what it missed. Alright, so let's start washing this out. Nice and clean. Let's pan this out and see what we have. See what else we have. We have no clue. We did not put this in here. This is straight from the creek. We've been dredging this area, so we know there's gold. I just have no clue what's in this bucket because we didn't plan any of it. Not a ton of gold, but some nice pieces here. Alright, so this is what we ended up with. So it caught one nice big, a good peppery, and a small piece. And there was a couple really fly poop pieces in here too. Maybe you can see it better. There it goes. So it definitely caught. But the thing I want to know is, did we miss any? Now we brought over the tailings from the Gold Ram, using it as a sluice, a fluid sluice, where we did find a couple pieces of good gold. The big thing what we all need to know though is, did we lose any? So we have our cleanup sluice to process this material quick and see what we're left with. I need to re-glue my mats here. This is a new piece to extend it, and I haven't glued it. I only have a quick tape and it's coming undone. But it does the job I need right now, so I'll fix it when I get back from prospecting. Now one speck. Alright, so we finished panning the tailings. One speck of gold. Good little peppery piece though. Now let's take a look at a comparison between what we found in the Gold Ram and what we lost. The green pan on the left is the gold, straight from the Gold Ram doing the panning test in the flow of water. The blue pan, that is our loss, the cons from it that we ran through the cleanup sluice, and the speck of gold that was left in there. So again, the green pan, in that material that was unsearched, we found 3 specks of gold. One piece of fine gold, a little peppery chunk, and then a nice little small picker there. In the blue pan, we had one tiny peppery piece of gold that we lost. So there's the results of using the Gold Ram Panning Sluice and the flow of water to process material. As you can see, we did find a couple nice pieces of gold in that material that we got, and we did lose 1 speck of gold. Overall, not too bad. Losing that speck of gold, it could have easily been just stuck to a piece of rock, or as we were agitating and kind of increasing the water flow by moving the pan back and forth, we could have washed out that speck of gold. However, it did still catch a fine piece of gold, a peppery piece, and a nice little picker, so it did its job to hold the gold.